We have a completely unformatted brief here, and so let's see now how to add different page number styles for different sections of the brief. And the first thing we need to do is create a new section after the cover sheet because we don't want any page numbers on the cover sheet. So let's come down to the place where our next section begins, questions presented, and we'll put our cursor right there where we want the next section to begin. Go to Layout, Breaks, Section Breaks, Next Page. And now that has created a new section from the questions presented that's separate from the section for the cover page. Now, it doesn't look like anything happened, but if you go to the Home menu and then click the Show Hide button, that'll show us all of the editing that's happening under the covers. And you can see that a section break has now been added at the very end of the cover page, so we're now into a new section in questions presented. Now, what the new section for questions presented means is that the headings and footers are going to be different for the two different sections. If we go into the footer on the first page, you see now it says Footer Section 1. There's going to be a different footer for Section 2. But right now, the Section 2 footer is just going to copy the footer from Section 1 because it's linked. It says same as previous. But we can unlink it by going up here to our menu for headers and footers and unclicking the link to previous. And so now the footer for Section 2 is completely independent. And we can now add the page number in the style that we want. So let's go up to page number. We want this to be aligned in the center. And let's format it to use the numbering style that we want. Usually the page numbers before the main part of the brief are indicated using Romanettes. So let's select Romanettes here. But we don't want this to continue from the previous section. We want it to start on its own as its own section, right? So we'll click Start At, and it already defaults to Romanette 1. And let's click OK. And so now it has added Romanette 1 here for Section 2. If we go up and check Section 1's footer, there's nothing there, which is appropriate because we don't want a page number for the cover page. The only thing left to change now is the font. This doesn't look like the right font, so if we go back to our Home menu, yeah, it's not the right font. It's not the right font size either. So let's change this to 12-point font and Times New Roman, which is the font that we're using for the rest of the brief. That didn't seem to work. Let's try it one more time. There we go. So now that looks like Times New Roman. And now we can click out of the header, or the footer rather, and let's come down and see whether the next page, which I've left a placeholder for a table of contents in, has a page number that we would expect. Yes, it does. Romanette 2, Table of Authorities, Romanette 3, Statement of the Case, Romanette 4. Now, let's say that we want our regular page numbers using Arabic numerals to start with our summary of the argument. Okay, so then let's create a new section beginning here for the summary of the argument. So we just repeat the same process. Layout, Breaks, Section Breaks, Next Page. So that creates a new section and automatically begins it on the next page. All right, so we ended with Romanette 6. Let's see what the page number is for this new section. Romanette 1. All right, so we have a new section, and so it started all over again. So let's double click into the footer and see that it is linked to the previous footer. So that means that the style is linked to the previous footer. That's why it's using Romanettes, even though it started over at Romanette 1. So let's unlink it from the previous footer. And then now we can format the page number to not use Romanets and to use Arabic numerals instead. So you can see that it's now starting at Arabic 1. Click OK. So now we're at Arabic 1. And let's see whether that page numbering continues. It does.